So this is Wednesday, April 1st, 2020. This is a 4 p.m. session, kickoff phone jam. So, um, Wednesday nights are really precious for our business, and the reason why this is like our midweek check-in. Now it's really not midweek because our week technically started yesterday. So Tuesday starts the week. And some people had solid days yesterday. And Cassidy had a grand day yesterday, and we ended up having about a little over $2,000 sold yesterday. So, and then Wednesdays are really protected to work on the business. We get a couple sales on Wednesday, but it's really designed to help us hit the phones and book up 100 or plus demos for the rest of the week. So we will book up majority of our appointments. If we do have 180 or 200 appointments in a week, 100 or 150 of them are booked up on Wednesday nights. And the goal of Wednesdays is so that way we leave Wednesday into activity, because the Wednesday night team meeting tonight, you're going to get pumped up. Session 2, we have, I'm going to be introducing you some really great skill sets and some tools that are going to help you with your virtual demos this weekend. The 6 p.m. session is going to help you get inspired and motivated and want to do bigger things and work harder. So the purpose of this session is just give you some phone skills. That way you can go into your phone jam, into your calling with intentionality. And that's what this session is about. So as far as some general philosophies and some general tips when it comes to kicking off the phones. Number one is you got to make sure that your queue is updated. So you got to make sure your queue is updated. So I created a playlist on YouTube. I found some videos and I sent it out. We're not going to watch every one of those videos right now, but I do want to draw your attention to number one, to the library where you could find these. But also number two, I do want to introduce a feature on Queue that I didn't know. So I'm sure if I didn't know, that maybe a few of you didn't know either. So the Queue, if you go to our page, you go to Queue, and then you'll see there's how to import contacts, how to add contacts, how to use direct dial to add contacts, how to phone, and then managing your schedule. So underneath the umbrella of how to phone, there was one part that I wanted to show you that I thought was pretty interesting. So I didn't know how we got these little stars here next to some people's names. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So that way you know how to star your prospects and pick out your best people. So one of the things on how to phone is he queues up his best people first. So before you go and start making your phone calls, you click your best people in order of which that you want to call them. So instead of calling like 5 at a time or 4 at a time or 3 at a time or here or whatnot, you want to queue up your best people. So how do you queue up your best people? How do you figure out which ones are your best people? Well, on this one, when he imported his contacts, you add your people to queue, which most of you know how to do, and you could add your own personal contacts in the queue. There's this little star button right next to it. So you could click a star. You also could tag each person. So see these tags right here underneath the clients? So like, for example, if I'm Cassidy, just because I see her on my screen, and say she has a bunch of clients that live in California, or you have a bunch of clients that live in a Western time zone, you could tag them with Western or like whatever you want, like a different time zone. So you could put a tag next to them. If you know they live in like a certain area, or if you know that they already own Cutco, you could tag them with Cutco owner. So a star is like a really top prospect, but then you could tag them by county or by city or where they live or however you want to tag them. And I thought that was a really cool feature that I didn't know if everyone knew. So that way, when you organize your queue and you update your customers right here, you update them, you could search by your tag. So if you have over 100 people in queue, you could search by your tag and like, cool, I'm going to call them first. I want to call my Western time zone first, or maybe I want to call my, whatever it might be. And you could organize your list in a very intentional way. So I just wanted to first, in order for you, maybe you knew this already, maybe you didn't, but those queue videos are great resources. You can see they're under 2 minutes just to kind of help you, organize yourself before you start making your phone calls. Now, The next thing you always want to do, now the step one is you organize your list. So if we're taking notes here, we got to organize your list. Step two is you got to organize your schedule. So when are you actually making these phone calls? So when are you actually making these phone calls? So coming into the last video, again, these are on YouTube. This was shared to you all in the WhatsApp group. So when it comes to managing your schedule, so right here where it says demo goals, you can click edit and you can change it at any point in time. So today is Wednesday. I'm highly recommending you to never do one appointment in a day. I'm highly recommending you to, really pick out and strategize days that you're going to get in flow. And what I mean by flow is, even if you see on his example, he has 4 appointments a day. I think that's unnecessary unless you're working full time. Most of you are only doing this part time. Part time is maybe like 10 appointments a week. So if you're doing 10 appointments in a week, part time, you just pick out 3 days. 3 days that you're doing 3 to 4 in a day. That's it. You don't need to be working every day. So I would just pick out 3 days, you're going to do 3 to 4. Maybe it's 2 to 4. But you just pick out 3 days of work, and that way you're intentionally focusing on building them up. I like Thursdays, Saturdays, and Mondays. And the reason why is because Wednesday night, we're about to hit the phones. You could easily book up your Thursday and your Saturday today. So you have at least, majority of the 10 booked up for Thursday and Saturday, you spill over for Magic Monday. Why I like those 3 days is because if you hit your sales goal on Thursday and Saturday, you could take Monday off. Or Monday's just extra on top to help you have a larger paycheck for the week. So if you could go into the week where you have a grand day on Thursday and a grand day on Saturday, you already sold $2,000 for the week. By Monday, you can compete nationally, or you could take Monday off. But you at least positioned yourself to have you have 2 to 3 grand days. What's a grand day? A grand is where you sell $1,000 in a day. How do you sell $1,000 in a day? Number one, you have to have enough appointments. You want to have 3 or 4 average orders. Well, how do you have 3 or 4 average orders? You got to have 2 or 3 average orders, I guess, depending on what your average order size is. But you have to have enough appointments set up for the day in order for you to sell $1,000 in the day. So I think 3 or 4 in a day, 3 days a week is a really good schedule for everyone on this call, unless you're trying to do this full time. If you're trying to do this full time, then maybe 4 or 5 days a week where you're doing 3 or 4. But I would not do 1 appointment days. I think it's a waste of a day, because if that appointment reschedules or cancels, you feel very deflated. And you got your mojo going for 1 appointment, which is really, it's not the goal. So something to keep in mind. So step 1, organize your list. Step 2, organize your schedule. Now, step 3 is you would start making your phone calls. You would start getting yourself in a good mindset and start reading your scripts. So as far as the phone scripts go, now, I'll share this folder with you. Okay. And I've already shared it before, but I'll share it again. And it's called Phone Jam Tools. And I'll share this. I'll put it in our WhatsApp group, and I'll also share it in our chat box. But this WhatsApp tools, I'll put it in WhatsApp first because it's easier access for me. So Phone Jam Tools. So underneath this Phone Jam Tools, there's a few different things here. The first thing is a weekly schedule sheet. So I highly recommend you printing a few of these out and just using these. So you might say, well, why are these blocked off? So Wednesdays, what we're doing right now, you say it's 4:30 to 5:45. I'm just doing this workshop before the Phone Jam because I am not doing this forever, but right now I know a lot of you need this, and that's why I'm doing this right now. And then we have our Head Start Phone Jam, kicks off right afterwards. We have our session 1, which is 6 to 6:30. And then that will be like a recognition, advancement, opportunities. Then we have our Phone Jam, and it says session 2, 9 to 9:45. But right now, tonight, I'm starting it at 8:30 because I have a lot of information to cover with the new virtual demo I want to introduce you to. And then as far as team night right now, where those are postponed until we do live meetings again. The Moneymaker Phone Jam is if you do not hit your goal today, you want to cross off time tomorrow. So say if your goal is to do 10 appointments and you only book up 3 of them and you have a bad phone jam, you're going to want another phone jam tomorrow night. So that's Thursday night. Sunday night is the 5 to 6 paycheck schedule phone meeting. That right there is just an hour where you want to sit down and map out your schedule, where you look at your last week's paycheck, next week's schedule, and then make your phone calls. So that's the Sundays and the Thursdays are kind of, not that they're optional, but they're just in case you don't hit you're not doing it on your own the right way. We have those pivots in the schedule if you need them. Wednesday nights are the only time that are really not, I don't want to use the word mandatory because success is not mandatory. Someone says, Mike, do I have to show up for these Wednesday nights? It's like, well, do you have to be successful? Well, whatever the answer to that question is, then that's the answer of how mandatory these Wednesday nights are. The same thing with Thursdays, same thing with Sundays. Success is not mandatory. Success is something that you earn. And that's why, we do these, because we want to help facilitate what we deem as successful in our company. And what I deem as successful, what I think is a good week, is 2 grand days. 2 grand days a week. That's a good week. I'll say that again. What I deem as a good week is 2 grand days. You give yourself 3 options, 3 opportunities, and you connect on 2 of them. That's a good week. You sell 2 grand in a week. If I'm brand new, I'm making good money. If I'm at 30%, I'm making $600. That would be good. What I think is okay is 1 grand day a week. I think it's okay. We're going to celebrate you. We're going to help you feel great. You'll still make good money. But that would be the focus. How can I focus 3 days a week where I can get to $1,000? And you might say, how do I get to $1,000? If you could one homemaker, focus on 2 or 3 average orders. That's it. Did you know that a $300 order could be broken up into 3 payments? That's $100 a month. A $500 order could be broken up into 5 payments of $100 a month. So how can I get 3 customers feel comfortable putting $100 on their credit card? That's all. Whether it's a 5-pay or a 3-pay, $100 on their credit card for an average family, $25 a week for someone they'll use every day. I feel confident in myself that I could sit down with the right prospect and help them feel comfortable putting $100 on their credit card. That's it. $100 on their credit card. $25 a week. $100 on the credit card. So it's not this large, big number. We start with $1,000, $2,000 package because we want to land on $100 on their credit card. It's called the law of relativity. Get them fired up about owning Cutco, and then we start high. So maybe they say yes, but we show them something smaller to get to $100 on their credit card. $100 on a credit card. That is literally nothing. That is nothing. They won't even notice it. It doesn't matter. Like, my wife is on a leave of absence from her job. She has a temporary leave of absence. I bet your ass, if I look at her credit card statement during this next month, I bet your ass she spent more than $100 on something, even though she's out of work. $100 is nothing for a married couple on a credit card. So it doesn't matter if they have work or they don't have work. It doesn't matter. They have a credit card. And if they want something, they'll spend $100 on it. It's no big deal. It is insignificant amount of money for something that the value that Cutco brings them. But the only way they could see the value in what Cutco brings them is by you doing a presentation. The only way you could do a presentation for them is if you book them up. I was having a conversation with my accountant, to go over some health insurance stuff. And I said, hey, Jessica, I'm very curious. Do you own Cutco? She's like, you've been my accountant for so long. She's like, actually, I don't. I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. She said, what is Cutco? I said, it's the best kitchen stuff in the world. She's like, kitchen stuff? I love to cook. I said, well, Jessica, I'm going to have to do a presentation for you. I said, I just paid you $1,000 to do my taxes. I said, the least you could do is do a presentation with me, right? She says, of course I'll do a presentation with you. I'll probably get some stuff too. I said, great, but it has to be recorded because I want the rest of my sales team to see what a good presentation looks like. Are you okay with that? And she says, do I have to be on camera? I said, well, I'll give you something for free if you let me record it. She says, sold. So very soon in the very near future, Mike Abramowitz is going to be doing a demo a virtual demo using the new virtual demo I'm going to teach you tonight with my accountant. I've been selling Cutco for 15 years and I just found someone I've never sold Cutco to. I bet your ass you have a ton of people who love to cook that you could have a simple conversation with. I love how Caitlin just found 6 new prospects before today's phone jam. There's always people. There's an abundant amount of people. They're all around you. You just have to ask. You have to seek them. So I digress. Step 1, organize your queue. Step 2, organize your schedule. Step 3, I guess, was kind of getting the right mindset before you start making phone calls, right? Map out your schedule. But now step 4, I guess, would be, if we're doing these steps, would be open up your toolbox and make sure you're ready to phone jam. So what's in your phone jam? You have your phone approach. Most of you are using the 10K phone approach, which is this one here, okay? You wanna have this up. You wanna just read this thing. Hey, Miss Jones, this is Mike. How are you? How's everything going? Good. Well, I know it's kind of random, but I have a favor to ask you. Wait for them to respond. Sure, what is it? Well, the reason I'm calling is I recently graduated from Steinbrenner High School, and I'm attending right now University of South Florida as an engineering major. Go Bulls. And I just started this new job that's helping me pay for school. And as part of the training, I just need to do some initial training appointments. I'm doing it for training. No need to buy anything. I can pay just to show it to you. And we can do the appointment right over the phone and the computer. And I know you're probably really, really busy, but I'm in a huge contest and need to set up 10 appointments by Monday in order to stay on track towards my goal and a scholarship they have available. So I want to know if there's any way you could squeeze me in on Thursday at 2 p.m. or do you think 4 p.m. would be better for you? It would really help me out. That's it. That's the phone approach. I know for damn sure there's at least 20% of you, 1 out of 5 of you, do not read that thing to book up your schedules and then cry a river on how your appointments reschedule or cancel on you. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. All you can do is read that script. How many times do you have someone say, oh, I'm busy or call me back later, but you're not reading the script? I bet your ass if all you did was read that script the way I just read it for you, you're going to book up appointments 10 out of 10 times. 10 out of 10 times you're going to book up a demo. You're reading that script. I guarantee there's one of you, it's like, Mike, but it feels weird. Know what feels even more weird is you scheduling 10 appointments and you completing 2 because the other 8 cancel. That feels more weird. So I highly recommend you just read the script. Now, if you're not in school right now, then maybe you wouldn't say the line of I recently graduated school and I'm looking to attend blank college as a major. You would just say, the reason I'm calling is I just started a new job that's helping me out. That's all. That's helping me out during the pandemic. Keep it simple. The reason I'm calling, I just started a new job that's helping me out right now during the pandemic. And that rest of it's the same. But don't change the script that much. Everything else works really well. Some of you might be using the chicken list phone approach. These are for people you don't know that well. So if you're using this phone approach, it's pretty much the same thing. Hey, Miss Jones, this is Mike Abramowitz. How are you? Who's this? I don't know if my name rings a bell, but I'm actually so-and-so's son, Eleanor's son. You actually worked with my mom at the bank about 10 years ago. I'm sure she used to talk about me growing up. Did she maybe reach out to you or send you a message that I might be giving you a call? No worries. I probably got to you first, but I'm calling because I was hoping you could do me a favor. You see, I recently graduated from Madeline High School. I'm currently attending University of South Florida as an engineering major. Go Bulls. And I just got this great new job that pays me to show a product to people. And I'm fairly new and I'm not quite prepared to see people I don't know too well. So right now I'm practicing with people I'm introduced to, which is why my mom told me to reach out to you. Now, Miss Susan, please understand, you don't have to get anything. I just need to practice. It's a lot of fun and it won't take up too much of your time. And also helps me gain some business experience in my resume and possibly a scholarship for school. And since I'm living in Tampa right now, we could do the appointment right over the phone. All you need is access to high-speed internet. And I'm actually in a huge contest right now where I have the opportunity to pay for my entire spring semester expenses if I hit my goal. And in order to stay on pace, I just need 10 more appointments before Monday night. And I want to know if you could squeeze me into your schedule on Thursday at 2 or 4 o'clock be better for you. It would really help me out. Again, if all you did was read that appointment, read that script word for word, 10 out of 10 times you're going to book up the appointment. 10 out of 10 times. Now, how do you get the appointment to stick? is the firm up. Okay? Is the firm up. How do you make sure you reduce the cancellation jab? The firm up. Let's go back into your toolbox here. It says firm up. What's firm up? As soon as they say yes, you want to thank them like they just gave you the winning lottery ticket. Thank you so much. You don't know how much this helps me out with the scholarship and the contest I'm working towards. What's the best email address to send a confirmation to along with the link for the appointment? Okay, got it. MissJaneRocks@gmail.com. Got it. And can you grab a pen and some paper or your calendar just so I could give you my confirmation number? It's just in case my manager calls. Great. Can you please write down, my name is Mike. I have us confirmed for Thursday at 2. My confirmation number is 320-404-901. I know I speak fast. Sorry, let me repeat that back slower. 320-404-901. And you do that purposely. Lastly, could you put a big smiley face on that sheet of paper so you know what I look like? And could you please put it under a magnet or somewhere you'll see it so that way you remember me? Now, Ms. Jane, I'm so sorry to have you go through all this trouble of like writing it down and everything, but I can pay for my entire semester of college if I hit my appointment goal each week. And the other day, I had an appointment and the lady didn't even remember, which put me behind my appointment goal. Now, I know that you wouldn't do that, but I just know that people are really busy, and I just want to make it as easy as possible for you to remember me. So are you 100% sure this time works? Oh, great. Thank you so much again. You have no idea how much this helps me out with the scholarship contest I'm working towards. We're going to have a lot of fun. And by the way, will your husband be there too? Okay, great. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks again. I can't wait to meet you over Zoom. I'll send you that link soon on Thursday at 2 p.m. Guys, that firm up is what, an extra minute and a half, 90 seconds? I bet your ass. If 1 out of 5 of you are not reading the script, I know there's probably 3 out of 5 of you that are not reading that firm up. And you might say, Mike, it takes so long. No, it takes so long is you blocking an hour of your time out of your schedule and then getting ready to make that phone call, and then they don't pick up. And then you call them 4 times and they still don't pick up. And then you posted the team chat, another reschedule. They ghosted me. It's not they ghosted you. It's that you didn't firm them up the right way the first time around. And you literally wasted 2 hours of your time because you didn't take 2 minutes to read the script. What hurts you more? 2 hours of wasted time or 2 minutes of intentional reading of a script? You know my answer. You know my answer. So I highly recommend you to read this. And then last but not least, you send them the email confirmation, which is also in your Phone Jam toolbox. You type this up. Now, do not type this up in the middle of the Phone Jam. You type this up at the end of the night. This is like a midnight activity. A midnight activity is type this up. You literally copy and paste this and change the meeting code if you need to, and change your name if you need to, but and everything else is the same. Just change the day and the time. Just copy and paste that. Boom. Send it into an email at midnight, and then this one you send it to them 15 minutes before. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, you do that today, you are going to set yourself up for 3 grand day opportunities, with 1 or 2 of those are going to be actual grand days. So what are the steps? Step 1. Who could tell me step 1? You could unmute yourself or type it in the chat box. What's step 1?
Schedule, organize queue.
Organize queue. You got it. Step 1, organize queue. Step 2. What's step 2?
Organize schedule.
Organize your schedule. And you want to organize your schedule on cue, right? Organize your schedule on cue along with your sheet of paper, right? Step 2. Step 3 would be get in the right mindset. I know I kind of added that one in there, right? But get in the right mindset. What's step 4?
Open up
Start making calls.
Open up the toolbox, right? And pull up all your scripts. Open up the toolbox and pull up all your scripts. Now you're ready to go, right? You're ready to phone jam. You're ready to book it up. So let's go ahead and talk. Let's take less than 2 minutes or 3 minutes. What were some light bulbs for you? What are some things you needed to hear during this last 20, 25 minutes or so that helped you get in the right frame of mind or the right intentionality for tonight's jam? Let's talk. So
I approach things the
Audrey has
same
the
way.
best Zoom
Do I
etiquette.
lead
Her
with
blue
my
hand
friends
raised.
immediately, or do I lead with master one of these?
I don't even know who's talking, but I'm gonna go to Audrey.
Cool. All right. So one thing that stuck out to me was what hurts more: 2 minutes of intentional reading off of a script, or 2 hours of time wasted from a reschedule.
Yes, excellent light bulb. Thank you, and thank you for the blue hand etiquette. What who else has a best practice or a tip or something that you just heard, a light bulb that you're like, all right, I need to hear that today. I'm ready to go. Someone was talking. I just didn't see the blue hand or know who it was. Jakira, blue hand. Thank you.
So like a huge thing that stood out for me was the firm up. So before I was using the firm up that's on the 10K phone approach. It's a lot shorter, but I don't really think it gets in depth enough. So I'm definitely gonna just cross that out and switch completely over to the SC2 squad firm up.
Love it. Love it. Yep. And I even changed it to the game changer firm up, not even the SC2 squad. It's even updated even more. So excellent. So looking at the firm up again, great reminder. Give me one or two more things that you're like, all right, I haven't been doing that, or I'm ready to do that. You don't even have to say you haven't been doing that, but like, I'm ready to do that tonight. Like, this is going to be a new day. This is going to be a new jam. This is going to be a new opportunity. I'm ready to go. And that was something I needed to hear to kind of get a refresher before I start hitting the phones here in 2 minutes.
I think I'm going to start using the 10K approach instead of that other approach that you were talking about, the last one. That's the one I've been using since I've started, and it's let's say it's been
cool.
Not the best, but I'm gonna use the 10K from now on.
Cool, love it. Let's do it. Let me give you one more observation on whether it be from the tips or something you heard today. One more light bulb, one more thing. Cassidy, we'll go Cassidy and we'll finish up with Audrey again.
I think I'm gonna start firming up. I want to create that urgency with my customers that this is something that I'm really trying to work towards now, and not constantly get those, well, maybe next week, I'll touch base with you next week. I hear that all the time. I don't want to hear that. We are all working towards something, and they are too. And people have the time. It's 1 hour. There's a lot of hours in the day. They can definitely help us out if they really want to. And that firm up is just creating that urgency.
Yep, you got it. It's creating the want. Who would not want to hang out with you? You're worthy of them wanting to hang out with you. I'm telling you, every one of you, you are worthy of your goals, and you are worthy of them to want to hang out with you. Remember that shit. What are you selling on the phone? You're selling you. That's what you're selling. That's what you're selling. Just remember that. Audrey, take us home, and then we'll kick off our Head Start Jam for the next 90 minutes.
I just wanted to say that was beautiful, Cassidy. And the last light bulb for me is no more one demo days. You want to have demos booked, 2, 3, or 4 a day.
Yep. I agree. I love it. So I'm going to put you all into activity. So here's what we'll say. You want to have your queue. We're going to manage your queue. This is the Head Start Jam. So the goal of this next 90 minutes. Now, TLA, remember, assistant managers and then assistant manager interns. So that's Jakira and Audrey and Cassidy and AJ. We have our Zoom with Mr. Jeff and Mr. Andrew at 5. So just so you know, that information has been sent out to you. So we have that coming up soon. And we're going to jam. So everyone else, we're going to jam for 90 minutes. You guys have 30. And then we'll reconvene on Zoom at 6. At 6, I'll do our opening session for our team meeting. That's where we're going to not talk about phones or skill set. I'm going to just talk about some upcoming events, calendars. I'm going to talk a little bit about what's working, best practices, recognition, big paychecks, stuff like that from last week. Get you all inspired, and then you get back on the phones again. We'll do another wave. Then we'll do another wave of calling till 8:30, and then we'll have our team meeting. That's going to be more instructional, where I'm going to walk through the new and updated virtual demo that I'm excited to introduce you all to. So get ready for that. And that's how tonight's agenda is going to unfold. I really appreciate all the work you're about to put in today. Right now, Amanda, if you want to write down this number, take a screenshot. We have on queue before we start jamming, we have 38 demos ahead of us. So we have 38 demos ahead of us right now. By the end of tonight, I would like to see that be closer to 200. I believe that we have the team where we can get that tonight to be closer to 200. Right now, there's 20 participants on. So if all 20 of you, the 20 of you get 5 each, some of you are going to book up more, you know, if you get to 5 to 8 appointments booked up tonight from each of you, that'll get us to 100 to 130. And then we have another 20 people that aren't Zoom right now that could do the exact same thing. So we have the team to go out and book up 100, 150 and get us to close to 200 appointments ahead of us. I'll tell you right now, we go into this weekend with 200 appointments ahead of us. We're going to have a very, very exciting week. You're going to have a very exciting week. But you might say, why? What's in it for us? The month of April officially starts now. And this is our opportunity to really have what is going to be a record-breaking spring. Not that you care too much about it, but we're about to hit 400,000 in sales for the spring. With a big April, we could hit $500,000 in sales in the spring, which hasn't been done since I think 2005 underneath Matt King's mentorship, and that was a record-breaking spring back in 2005. So not that matters to all of you, but here's what does matter. We do something like that, something huge like that for April. That means a lot of you are going to have to hit some promotions. A lot of you are going to make some big-ass paychecks. A lot of you are going to have to advance into management because our team is going to get too large where we're going to need more leaders to step up. A lot of you are going to hit pay raises, and a lot of you are going to have to get on the regional and national newsletter. I mean, it's just going to happen. In order for us to break records, you're going to have to see a high level of success in order for that to take place. And that's what excites me more. So in order for us to level up as a team, you must level up as an individual. And by you leveling up as an individual, you're going to make a lot more money and hit a lot of your goals. And that's what excites me the most. So use the phones tonight as a tool to chase down your goals. Use the phones tonight as a vehicle to help you chase down the things that you're worthy of. And I'm excited to reconvene in 90 minutes to see what we're going to create right now. So let's see if we can get to 100. We are 38 right now. Could we get to 100 before 6 p.m. and then we'll get the other 100, after 6 p.m. So have fun, hit the phones. You don't need to stay on the Zoom. I'll stop recording now. And